One thing that I've seen many times on YouTube and also online, people are saying using acoustic panels, acoustic foam works very well at soundproofing a room. But one thing that I never see on YouTube is an actual sound test of just how these acoustic panels will reduce the noise from leaving the room. This is the video where we will test this theory. Do these sound deadening material actually soundproof a room? Because what they are, they're not a soundproof material. They are a sound deadening material. What they do, they absorb the sound waves. They don't necessarily block the sound waves from going to the other room. It will reduce the echo in the room and essentially make the room potentially quieter. Usually when you're looking to make a room quieter, you're looking to reduce the amount of decibels leaving the room. Just by absorbing noise, what you'll be doing is you'll be making the room that the acoustic panels are in sound better. But that's not why you're here. You're here to find out if adding these acoustic panels around the room, because they don't really go into specifics. They don't say completely cover the room every square inch. They don't say anything like that. They say acoustic panels, acoustic foam. That is a soundproofing material. And again, we've never seen the data to support it. And in this non-scientific test, we will use our decibel meter. Before, after, we'll put some pretty crappy royalty-free music in here to find out if the amount of decibels leaving the room is the same with and without the acoustic panels. We'll even sound test inside the room to see if there's a big difference. It's not going to be great music, it's just to find out and see if there is a difference in decibel. We'll just do it inside the room first, then we'll do it outside the room just to get an indication of. "52 decibels. Alright, so now in this room we have these on the wall already, but all of the other walls I just left completely empty. And now we will be adding some acoustic material onto the wall. So as you can see, this room is full of acoustic panels. I can hear the difference right now just in my own voice, just by the deadening of the sound. But is that going to be enough to bring it from sound deadening to soundproofing? One thing to note is these acoustic panels are between $60 and $100 each. In this room, relatively small room, I have 10 big ones, 1 small ones, 11 acoustic panels. That would be roughly $1,100. However, if your goal is to reduce the amount of noise leaving this room, well, maybe spending $1,100 on acoustic material rather than spending maybe $100 on soundproofing material, or heck, $20 on soundproofing material. Now that will make a difference in reducing the amount of noise leaving this room, and I'll show you right after this test, but let's find out. Music again at 1 minute and 30 seconds, same spot as last time. Full blast. All right, let's go outside. All right. As you can see, there is basically no difference in the amount of decibels it actually reduces, which I am surprised because this room was quite echoey. it does sound different. However, the amount of noise actually leaving the room, and yes, there was an acoustic panel against the door, the actual amount of noise that left the room, the amount of decibels, didn't really change. It was fluctuating around between 48, 49, 52 outside the room, and inside the room it was in the low 70s, and it pretty well stayed there throughout both tests. So there it just goes to show, spending $1,100 to soundproof a room using acoustic panels will not work. However, if you want to make the room sound better, that is the way to go. If you want to reduce the amount of noise leaving this room, the first way to do it is to soundproof the door. You can do it for about $20. One thing that you can do is to block that half-inch gap at the bottom of the door. Make sure that it doesn't really restrict airflow in and out of the room. That, coupled with some weather stripping around the inside casing of the door, and those two things will go a heck of a longer way than using acoustic panels for upwards of $1,000 versus these two pieces of material for around $20. And just to prove to you how much noise it actually blocks, here is a sound test I did a few months ago. But before we begin our little project, we'll take a sound test to see how much noise goes through. All right, let's put some royalty-free music so I don't get copyright claimed. So basically it's between 43 to 48 decibels. Let's see if we can reduce that amount for 20 bucks. All right, so let's slide this in, reinstall it. Now this is much better. Oh my God. Now they have the door sweep installed. You just mark where you need to cut it. And do that on both sides, just in case you screw up real bad. So all you need to do to cut it to size is just use some scissors. As you can see, I already did this, but I'm just perfecting it now. The plastic is very thin, but still pretty rigid. Slide that in, and it should be a perfect fit for your door. A door sweep like this will also work, but this one does work better. All right, so now that we have that installed, we can check out and see how much just a door sweep reduce noise, because these door sweeps are under $20. These ones are even cheaper. So if your budget is very limited, then this one would also work. Only difference between this one and that one, this is not a U shape, and you just also universal sizing. You just put it under and you attach it. So this one is more permanent. This one, slide it out if the air handling unit can't handle it. Put that on the other side and see if there's any improvement. Between 40 and 44. Let's see if we can reduce that even more by one more thing. Less than $10 item. You just roll it down, get it all the way down to the floor, and then bring it down. And as I said, this weather strip fits perfectly for an interior door. And this foam, as you can see, is pretty squishy, so it will seal that small gap without impeding you from closing the door. For $20, if we can get rid of a few decibels. Now, they say that if you reduce the noise by just 3 decibels, you're essentially reducing the amount of energy of the noise in half. So that's quite significant because a lot of the times you might think just 1 or 2 decibels, it doesn't really make a difference. Where the biggest difference is noticeable is when you reduce the amount of decibels by 10. If you can reduce the amount of decibels by 10, it's the equivalent of reducing the amount of noise that your ears can hear by half. So every 10 decibels, you're essentially reducing the noise in half. So when we talk about soundproofing, you just have to realize that we're not going to get rid of all of the noise. This is still something that you can do, especially if you live in a rental where this weather strip, I doubt very much that they would care if you leave it there, but the door sweep, bring it with you wherever you go and you can reuse it in your next dwelling. So now we'll do another sound test just to see if there is a significant difference. So as you can see, you don't have to spend a lot of money to soundproof a room. You can do it for $20. You can start there. That's the thing. If you're going to do it yourself and your budget is limited, start with the door. But if it's not enough, if you do need more ways on soundproofing a door, here's 12 ways to soundproof a door. Thank you very much for watching, and if you have questions, leave them in the comment section below. And if you need more concrete advice on your specific soundproofing project, you can always join my membership. I have 2 tiers. Pick the one that is best for you and I'll be happy to help you out. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, assuming you subscribed.